Hello, I'm back. I got this video and maybe another quick video to do, and then I have to go to sleep and take care of some things this afternoon. So I'll make this quick, sweet, and painless. I live in Johnston County, North Carolina, and I used to listen to a lot of talk radio over the years. With the politics I have, it's amazing. I listen in my day to a lot of conservative talk radio just to see what the other side has to say. So, when I hear people say, back in the days when Rush Limbaugh was alive, and I would diss on and make fun of Rush Limbaugh or make a snarky comment about Rush Limbaugh, it would be something like some partisan twerp will come up to me and be like, "Huh, well, you're sitting there and you're just making fun of Rush Limbaugh. I bet you never even listened to Rush Limbaugh a day in your life." Well, no, I have unfortunately listened to a lot of Rush Limbaugh. In fact, I've called in on his show once in 1997, and I own him in that debate too. But anyway, so I've listened to a lot of Rush Limbaugh over the years. I've listened to a lot of Sean Hannity over the years. You name it, Mark Levin, Glenn Beck, all these people I've listened to over the years, and some of these people are really really bad, and some of these people are really 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 bad. And it is amazing how much of an audience these people have, and how people just believe some of that propaganda, those talking points that are so easily refuted most of the time, majority of the time. So it's anyway. In Raleigh, there's this radio station called WPTF. And back in the 1990s, I would occasionally call in on their afternoon radio show. Some silly guy, some silly old cranky man named Bart Ritner, I believe he died a few years ago. Um, he was sensible compared to what followed after Bart Ritner. Jerry Agar was a real piece of work, a 100% jerk, if there ever was one. And then there's Bill LuMaye, and also another jerk. And I've called in on these shows, and I pretty much set the record straight on the various issues they'll talk about, or when I'm about to and they know it, they'll just shut me off and hang up on me. And that's been an ongoing pattern over and over on these talk shows for years. With all Rush Limbaugh's fault and Sean Hannity's fault, and they both got a lot of faults. I will say this about Sean Hannity today and the late Rush Limbaugh, and this is the closest thing you'll ever get to a a compliment to from me to them. At least when a liberal called in on the late Rush Limbaugh, or they'll call in on Sean Hannity, they do have a degree of civility they on them, that they do carry a dialogue with the callers. I'll give them that. I will give them that. But if you go and call in on Glenn Beck, if you're a liberal, if you called in on Mark Levin, especially if you're a liberal, and shit, get off the phone, you twat, you jerk. I mean, that's the kind of mess you'll get with people like Mark Levin, and Michael Savage, same thing. I'm almost sounding like Alex Jones there. But and it's funny because Alex Jones, no, not Alex Jones, Michael Savage and Mark Levin hate each other's guts. Between Mark Levin and Michael Savage, they're both assholes, but I would guess that Michael Savage is the lesser evil to Mark Levin, and Glenn Beck and Alex Jones hate each other. Alex Jones would be the lesser evil to Glenn Beck, but at least with Alex Jones, he does, when he wants to put his mind into it, he would do a weird thing like defend Occupy Wall Street, or back in the Bush years, oppose the neocon wars and oppose the domestic spying that goes on and everything, while all the others take the neoconservative line. Well, let me get back to Raleigh. Um, this guy, Bill LuMaye, he, I guess, was in what 2000, 2005, 2006, 2007, something like that. It's been a while, but he took over Jerry Agar's show, and there he was, another movement conservative at that time, took the George W. Bush line. This is during the Bush presidency. When it came to whatever Bush was doing domestically on economics, he was for. Whatever George W. Bush was doing in foreign policy with the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan, the Bush-Cheney foreign policy doctrine, he was strongly for. Torture in Guantanamo, he was for. When it came to social issues here in the United States, this was at a time when saying that saying you were for gay marriage meant you were socially ostracized. Even if you were not a homosexual, if you're a straight person, you say you don't have a problem with gay marriage, same-sex marriage, you were ostracized from hell. And he took that position. And he took the position of always the premise, just like all the other talk shows. Republicans, good. Democrats, evil. And it was just, I remember one show where he was talking about calling the Democrats another name. And he was like, well, let's call them commie-crats. Let's call them Al-Qaeda-crats. Let's call them, Nazi-crats or whatever. And I'll call in on his show and be like, you know what, if somebody said, let's call the Republicans Nazi-publicans, how would you feel about it? And it would be this sort of thing. And around 2008, he decided to politicize church by saying there's a priest in some Catholic parish, I believe it was out in South Carolina. I don't remember, but I remember he was talking about a Catholic priest denying communion to people who voted for Obama, so he decided to make a partisan issue out of this, And I call in on the show. I was like, yeah, you know what? A lot of Catholic priests also opposed the war in Iraq, and believe me, there's a lot of people dying with that Iraq war, innocent Iraqis and dedicated American soldiers being pushed against their will by suit and tie neocon politicians. Well, he and I did not see eye to eye on it. I mean, but he was a strong supporter of the Iraq War when it came, and when Bush was defeated, when Bush stepped down and McCain was defeated during the Obama presidency, he during the Bush presidency, anybody who opposed Bush, he was just like, they hate George W. Bush, and how dare they hate our president? But then when Barack Obama became president, it was okay to hate on Barack Obama. And here's the thing, I'm better than Bill LuMaye because, I hated on George W. Bush and I hated on Barack Obama because they're both sacks of shit. I hated on Donald Trump in the past 4 years because he's a sack of shit. And I hate Joe Biden now because he's a sack of shit. But for him, it just takes having a D beside your registration card is what makes you evil, and that's what it comes down to. He has no imagination. And on his Facebook profile, it's always whatever article or what have you, it's always, Democrat this, Democrat that, Democrat run city, Democrats, 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 the Democrat Party. I mean, it just kind of like you sound like a moron when you do that. And just you sound as silly as the people who had Trump derangement syndrome the last 4 years. Trump sucked, but he didn't suck any more than any other president, honestly. But he sucked because he's a politician in the White House. Whereas with Bill LuMaye, all you have to do is have a registration R beside your name, and somehow you're okay. And he's so predictable, and he's one of those kinds that if a liberal criticize the religious right, they're anti-Christian. However, he put up an article on his Facebook page on Pope Francis that says, "Worst Pope ever." And how is Pope Francis worst Pope ever? You mean Pius XII, who played political footsies with Hitler? That you're saying that Pope Francis is worse than Pius XII? Really? Really? So but anyway, he goes around and no, Francis is not the worst pope ever. He's a very good man. Um, Nothing against Benedict the 16th. Benedict the 16th was a good man too. Is a good man. He's still alive. John Paul was the second good man. But Pius the 12th, absolutely not. But anyway, I digress. Point I am trying to make is that the Bill LuMaye is your typical Heritage Foundation loving neoconservative um, movement conservative that takes the cue of people like Rush Limbaugh and somehow make those Rush Limbaugh talking points make them sound more ignorant. So anyway, I've been corresponding with him probably in the last month and a half or so, and he's still the same old Bill LuMaye as he was over the years, and so he kind of insulted me the other day, so I'm just like, oh, okay, and then I decided to go post on Facebook or what I thought of him, and yeah, I tagged his name, and he went and insulted me, and he blocked me. He's a snowflake. He's a silly man. He's a snowflake. He's thin skinned. And he's all the things that he wants people to think exists on the college campuses. The purple hair, anorexic little soy boys that going around, in an Antifa outfit. With a little bike chain and all that, thinking they're all badass. That's what Bill LuMaye is, but he's that version on the right. See, in the culture war, you got them on both sides. You got silly people on both sides, and yeah, some of these some people on the politically correct left, the ones who are on a campaign against hurt feelings, that sort of type. They're silly and to be make fun of, but people like Bill LuMaye, they are the right wing version of the purple hair anorexic little soy boy college kids on their crusade against hurt feelings. They people like Bill LuMaye has their little safe space, and they can't take it when anybody criticizes him. And he is a snowflake. He's a silly man, and he is to be made fun of and to be mocked, as I said on my profile the other day. He is to be made fun of and mocked and shown there's to be no respect for someone like him. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. And if Bill LuMaye's listening, you did not defeat any argument with me. In fact, if anything, I own you. I own you. You can't turn this computer screen off. You can hang up on me all you want. You can't turn this computer screen off. You can block me on Facebook all you want, but you can't turn this computer screen off. You, sir. No, let me take that back. I'm not going to extend no respect calling you sir. You, LuMaye, you are a big, pathetic, partisan joke. I didn't stutter when I say that. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, well, comment anyway. Feel free to shared content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, I am a First Amendment absolutist. Bill LuMaye is not. He only pretends to be one, but he is not. I can guarantee you people like him are not First Amendment absolutists. I am. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to go ahead and create your own platform and utilize it because we're the muckrakers of our time. And feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're kept up to date with some of my commentary. And until next time, I am American Social Democracy. Peace, class struggle yesterday, class struggle today, class struggle tomorrow, and class struggle until we have full economic and social justice for all.